Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with another Fan TV, man. Back at another video. Like the content of this video, go and smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go ahead and subscribe, man. Look, so here we are Thursday of the Ravens bye week in preparation for the divisional round, and there's a couple of things going on in the Ravens world that we could talk about. Multiple guys on the staff getting head coaching opportunities, in terms of interviews. Some people taking part in practice, and also talk about Lamar Jackson, right? Has the accolades for him this season continue to roll on in, right? So first, let's talk about the practice, right? So as far as practice goes, guys are not practicing. Zay Flowers, Adafe Owe, Malik Harrison, Delshon Phillips, Marlon Humphrey. A couple of guys that are important to have returned. Devin Duvernay, kick returner, punt returner specialist. He returned back to practice this week. I believe he returned yesterday. Also, Kyle Hamilton has been practicing. I think he said I watched his press conference, and he said that he's close to pretty much being a full participant. So that's a good news for the Ravens as well, because we know how important he is to this Ravens defense. Okay, and then Charlie Kolar, all right, who has stepped up as well. Obviously, in a little bit of a lesser role than Isaiah Likely, but when the Ravens have called Charlie Kolar's number, he's been there. He's been reliable for them. Catching his first career touchdown pass a couple weeks ago, right? At this point. So, those guys are back, but the Ravens are slowly. I don't think they're putting a big emphasis on guys, practicing right now this week, because they know that they still have another week to go before they actually play their game. Then new signing, Dalvin Cook, rocket number 31, is also out there for the Ravens. So a lot of changes, but a lot of good things for the Ravens, right? I don't have any. I won't say any of this is bad news, right? Guys not practicing like that. Like I said, this is still the week before we get into who the Ravens are going to play, right? So good news there, right? All right, so I wanted to talk about Lamar Jackson mainly in this video, right? When you think about a guy that had all the pressure on his shoulders, right? So we go back to the offseason and how the whole thing with the contract went, right? Finally gets the deal that he wants, the Ravens want, whatever, right? Now the next step is, okay, well, are you worth the money, right? To me, there was never any question, because when you have a quarterback, especially an MVP type quarterback, right? You have to pay those guys, right? They don't come around so often where you think, well, we can just get the next guy, right? But, there are still people who had doubts about Lamar Jackson's game, right? Oh, he has to finish the regular season in the last couple of years, this and that. Will he ever be the passer, that he needs to be to take the Ravens to the next level, right? These are the kind of questions that were asked about Lamar Jackson, right? So coming into this year, Ravens get offensive coordinator Todd Monken, and they change the offense up. And Lamar Jackson does what he does pretty much every year since I've seen him in the NFL. He elevates his game to another level, right? Now, there are a lot of people who are on the whole EPA, things like that. And listen, those stats are important. I believe that analytics paired with watching the games and actually watching the film, that's how you do it, right? You don't live off of one or the other, right? You just don't live off what the numbers say. You just don't live off of what the tape might say as well, because sometimes that could be deceiving as well, right? You pair them both together. That's how you get a fair evaluation, right? So I don't really care about where he ranks as, sixth in EPA per play, stuff like that. I know the impact when I watch the Ravens play, when I see the games of what Lamar Jackson does to a defense, right? It's not always about him dropping back. It's about the effect that he can have on the team, even in the run game, right? So I know all of those kind of things. But as far as the accolades rolling in, obviously Pro Bowl, right? Offensive Player of the Month for December. Now he's got the first team All Pro voted by the players, right? I would assume that when the Associated Press, the AP All Pro team comes out as well, he'll be first team All Pro in that. So, and then he's probably going to win MVP, and he should win MVP. So Lamar Jackson has had the kind of season where it's like everything that you wanted to know about Lamar Jackson has been answered this season, right? The Ravens are a team that have been on a kind of historic path, right? The Ravens defense, I put up the community post about how they have, I think it was takeaways, sacks, and points per game, like a real defensive triple crown, first team to ever lead in all of those stats. That's great, right? But it doesn't take away from the fact of what Lamar Jackson's doing on the other side of the ball, right? So first year in a new offense, right? So there was some stuff that will still work out, but at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson, like I said, he's done something that he's done pretty much every year is get better, right? A lot of people like to compare him to his 2019 season, because I think the efficiency of that season was incredible, right? 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, doing it in a low volume passing game. Now the Ravens passing game still isn't the most high volume passing game, But that's by choice. That's just how they want to run it, right? But Lamar Jackson has been even better this year, right? So if we talk about, I'm sorry, hold on, my phone acting up. If we talk about completion percentage, right? Career high in completion percentage, okay, for Lamar Jackson, all right? You want to talk about passing yards, career high for Lamar Jackson, okay? So um, interception rate, this is tied for 2019 with the lowest, all right? Everything you want to look at, success rate on passes, second to 2019. So he is getting better each and every year. Yards per attempt, this is number one, 8 yards per attempt. So when you just go down the stats, keep going. You see that Lamar Jackson is a better player now than he was even on another historic season. So this year to me feels like it is the year of Lamar Jackson, and we gotta appreciate that, right? So I think that if Lamar Jackson, he's never satisfied until he gets to that ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl, right? And that's the only thing left off of this great year that he could check off, right? I mean, he's getting the personal accolades. Um, he'll have he has the team accolades as far as the number one seed pretty much in the entire NFL, right? Best record in the entire league. Now it's just off to finish off the Super Bowl run, right? So for the Ravens, for Lamar Jackson, this last 3 games hopefully has a chance to change the entire trajectory of his career, right? I mean, he's already a guy that is viewed as one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? But if you add Super Bowl to two-time MVP, Super Bowl winner, now you're talking about a guy who was a shoe-in to get into the Hall of Fame, right? Honestly, being two-time MVP probably gets him in there anyway. But to me, this Ravens team reminds me in some ways of like, remember the Carolina Panthers team that was 15-1, won the Super Bowl. Cam Newton was on a high that year. He was on another level, but they came up short in the biggest game, right? It kind of reminds me of that year, but I want to see a different outcome for the Ravens team. But the Ravens have better receivers than that Carolina team had. But just a super force at quarterback, MVP, just somebody who was an overwhelming presence right there, controlling the entire game, right? So when I look at that team, I look at this Ravens team, I'm like, I can see some similarities there. So I'm hoping that they have the outcome of getting to the Super Bowl, but actually have a different outcome and actually winning the game, right? So for me, for Lamar Jackson, this has been easily the best year of his career. I like everything he's doing. It's not just about the numbers, right? You got to look at a guy, how he controls the huddle, how he controls the sideline. I mean, how many clips have we seen on Ravens Wire this year of Lamar Jackson telling everybody, calm down, stay focused, stay locked in? That's been his term for his entire season, to stay locked in. He's not satisfied until he gets to that final goal. So this year feels like this is that special year where everything comes together, right? And I hope that's what happens, right? So I want to talk about this. I wanted to make this video saying that the season that Lamar Jackson has, it needs to be talked about more, right? It needs to be appreciated because we've kind of come to expect greatness from Lamar Jackson, right? Because he's been pretty much every time he's played, he's been good, right? The Ravens have, I believe, like almost like 65, 70% win percentage with Lamar Jackson, right? But at the end of the day, when a guy is this special, this talented, and he's having the kind of year that Lamar Jackson's having, we gotta recognize him. We gotta celebrate him. So that's what I'm doing, man. We'll come back with more videos when it's some more Ravens news. But leave me your thoughts, comments, man. But it's Gabriel, 2000 Fan TV. I'm out.